I'm going to do is show you a simple example of setting up a network schematic image in a Statseeker dashboard in version 5.5.4. So the simple steps are to start your dashboard, set up an image panel and give it a name. Decide which queries you want to show, and they're commonly device up, device down, and the data rate on specific critical links. Decide what background you want, a color or often an image. The image could be connecting lines in a schematic, it could be a floor plan of a building, whatever you choose. And finally, to put the nodes on there with the appropriate colors and links, reflecting the status as it dynamically changes, and then being able to drill down onto whichever dashboard suits you. So let's make a start. So first things first, we've got a dashboard here we can edit. It's, in this case, a saved and edited version of a default dashboard. So we've got permission to add a panel, an image panel. And as we said, the first thing I'm going to do is give it a name. And in fact, this is going to be a view of the Athens office. I know what I'm looking at. Then the next step is to add the metrics. And the two metrics I'm interested in, the first one is show me devices, are they up or down? So I'm interested in devices from Athens. What I really want to see is their poll state and their ping state. Are we trying to reach them, and are we actually reaching them? And to identify them, I just really want to know the name of the device. In terms of filtering, if the poll state is on, then we're good. And if it's not, I'm not interested in reporting on that. So that's the first query done. That tells me device is up or down. The second query is regarding to interfaces. So if I want to know information about interfaces, I choose that as the query type. Again, I'm interested in the Athens group. And what's going to interest me here is the RX utilization as a percentage and the TX utilization as a percentage. Those of you that are used to the old version of Statseeker will know this is a quite different way of selecting things. It's quite a lot quicker and easier. Now, because you're looking at interfaces here, but it's important to me which device it is. So first I put as my reference the device name, and then I also want to add the name of the interface. And in terms of anything else, I think that's all good. So there's my two queries. Okay, already we're up to step 3. Now, step 3 is, first of all, to choose the background color and the image that we want to show. In this case, I want to use an uploaded image. Now you can upload a fresh one. This could be a floor plan of a building, a campus. In this case, I'm just going to choose a simple few lines as a background. I think I'll also choose a color, something that's not white, so stands out a little bit. Good, so we're done. And then in addition, I want the image that I see on the screen to always focus around the nodes, which ones are visible. So we've got our background image. Now I need to add the nodes. I'm going to make one to start with. Just check it does everything that I want. The first thing I probably want is a device query. And what I've certainly got here is a router. I don't need to add a name because it's got a title that's appropriate and there's only one of them. And what I'm interested in is not the poll state, but the ping state. Is it actually responding to us? The response we're going to get is a string. I'm going to leave the name, but I don't really need the field on there. I'm going to see if it's up or down from the color of the icon. So as the icon for this, because it's a router, I'm going to choose a router icon. Now, to make it nice and clear what's happening, what we're looking at is the ping state. That's the field. So if the ping state is up, then I want to make the icon green. Add a new rule. If the ping state is down, I want to make the icon red. Okay, that's straightforward enough. And to drill down, when I click on this icon of this router, I want to go to a device dashboard, because that'll give me details just on this device then. And for the parameters, syntax can normally use for this is something like var device. So that's giving us the device variable on the dashboard we're going to, which is the device overview. When we get there, I want it to be $, bracket, __ label, close curly bracket. So that's going to take whatever would be here. In this case, we're not typing an extra name as a label, but we're taking the name of the entity. So when we go to this device dashboard, the device variable is going to be what's here. And that's good, because it means as we choose different devices, the drill down will automatically take us to the right page. Now, we don't need time range, we don't need variables, but I do want it to open in a separate tab. I don't necessarily want to close this one every time I open it. I think the one thing that I will do is I'll make the background and the text transparent, so it's not visible, and make the text of the label something close to black. So it's always nice and clear, but not over dominant. Good. So let's give that a try. Shut that down. Save what we've done so far. Good. And when I go back to my dashboard, I should be able to click on that and see what comes up. There we go. Now we can see the information that's relevant from that Athens router. So that link seems to work okay. Let me zoom out a little. Find out where I've put my cross. I'm going to make it so that we appear on the image. There we go. That should be there now. So we've got one node in there, and that's fine. It's reacting. It'll turn red when that router goes down. But I'm probably going to need the other devices that are there, switches, servers, that kind of thing. So the easiest way to do it is everything that we've put in there, we can now just duplicate 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, let's say. And for each of these nodes, simply edit them and change what device we're interested in. I might be interested in the UPS, and I'll make the icon appropriate to a UPS. Okay, that's done. The next we see it changes here to state icon on a UPS. This one, I want to make not the router, but a server. And I'll change that so it's the appropriate icon for a server. And the others, I think, are going to be switches. So I'll scroll down, change that router icon for switch 1, and change the icon there to switch one. We'll do the same on this one. This time I'm looking for switch 2. Let's have some variety. Let's make it a virtual layer switch. This one, I'm changing to switch 4, I think. And again, standard switch. I've got one more there. I've got 1, 2, 4, so I'll make this one switch 3. There we go. Save that. All I've got to do is place the appropriate icons in the appropriate places to suit my needs. And now I think the there for now. Refresh the page so we can see everything okay. So we've got our basic setup, our devices on there. Now what we want to do is add onto there the interface speeds. So now I want to add my interface speeds onto here. And I happen to have made a note of which of the interfaces I specifically want. Remember, we did 2 queries. The one query setup was for devices. The other query setup was for interfaces. We're going to follow basically the same pattern. That's that one. So this is our server interface. What we're interested in is Rx, an indication of its working. It's a number we're going to get because it's a percentage. And the units are simply a percentage from 0 to 100. We don't need decimal places. It's text. The default background color, I want nothing. This doesn't have to be overpowering. The default text color, let's make it black. We will leave the interface name on there for now. And some coloring rules, I think. We're looking at the utilization. So from nothing up to 20, you'll be using higher values in your real case. We want the text to be green. From 20 to 40, we'll have the text as orange. Let's have a little bit more vivid orange. And from 40 to the top, we'll have the text as, I'll have it black. Okay. And what I'm also going to do is add a rule where from 40 up, the background to the text is red. So normally the background color is going to be clear, but should the utilization get high, the box around the text will appear red. Okay, so that should be good for my connection to the server. I'll save that. There we go. My server connection. It's effectively 0% at the moment, but that whole box will turn red should the utilization get higher. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other connections I'm interested in at the moment. So the easy thing to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 duplicates and choose the appropriate interface in each case. I'll start here at the bottom. So on switch 1, I want 1, 1. I don't have to change anything else. So finally, so save again. I've just selected which interfaces it is, and I left the label on so they can be clearly identified, each one. Now, what I suspect you'll do on your illustration, you won't need the labels on each of these. You can take them off. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And that way, you're just looking at a percentage. We'll see if the utilization on any of these goes up, you'll see it change. The other thing that could be a little relevant, you can add icons just for to help with explanation. So I'm going to add a cloud up here to show this is our connection to the webbing effect, and I'm also going to take the label off that main connector to the router. 1. So connection 1, 1 here. If I can find it again, there it is. So if I simply remove the label, remove the name, there we go, that'll disappear. Now the other thing I do want to add here is my cloud. So I simply choose no entity, but I want an icon, and I want it in the shape of a cloud, size of 50, and I'd like my cloud to be that strange color. There. Save. I'll go back to the page. I'll bring that down. Move my speed down. Put my cloud in at the top. And of course, any of these icons, let me take the router and move the label to the side. You can play with these any way you choose. So if I take the router and say instead of having the icon below, I'd like to have it on the right, and then go back, then the name of the icon appears on the right instead. So there's your basic image. And as we said before, click on any of the icons. We've got a drill down, an indication of exactly what's happening at each device on there. So good luck setting up your run. Now we're going to cover not just having one device or one interface behind a node on your image panel, but having an entire group. So to do, first of all, I'm going to delete Athens switch 3 and then insert a node that'll show us everything that's going on for my example, in the German offices. So I'll go to the image map, delete Athens switch 3. So that one's gone. Now I'm going to add a node. Before I do it, I need a metric. The thing that makes group icons a little different is we need a query for each node type because we're grouping things together. So as before, when we were looking at single devices up or down, it's a device query. In my case, I'm putting together two groups, Berlin and Hamburg. You can group any way you wish, but it's the grouping that makes this powerful as a tool to indicate what's happening in the whole area. The fields that we're interested in are the ping, but not just the ping, it's the percent in states up. So that gives us a number for how many devices in that group are up. And we know as soon as it's not 100%. We also want to know the name of the devices and the poll state. The label for them, I'm going to define separately. In this case, I'm going to call it German offices. I'm going to have a filter on there because I'm not interested in devices I'm not filtering. I'm not polling. So the polling has to be on. And then the key is to group by poll state averages. That gives us a single number as an output for that. So now I can go to my image map, go back to this entity I just started, and I can choose query C. I'm interested in the German offices. That's what I want to call it, Germany. I'm interested not really in the poll state, but the percentage in ping up, and that's a number. It's a percentage, 0 to 100, and I don't need decimal places. So instead of text in this case, because it's a group altogether, I'm going to choose the icon of a building. I'll leave it black, that way I know if it's not showing anything. And the label, but I want to add rules. My rules for this are if we're anything less than 100% up, so anything up to 99 is a problem. It means not all of our devices in that group are up. But if it's 99% and above, then the icon is good, green. Okay. Save that. Put it where I want it to be. And now I've got an icon that will show me at the moment none of the German offices are down. As soon as one of the German offices goes down, any of the devices in there, we'll see this icon turn red. And we can add a link and click down on it.